from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your #1 source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Hey, thanks for watching WRAL News Plus. I'm Grace Holland. In the last 30 minutes, the NFL released its schedule for the 2024 season. Here's a look at the Sunday night football schedule for NBC. Of course, you'll be able to catch all of these on WRAL later this fall. So far, that schedule doesn't show any matchups for the Panthers that will air on that network. Still be lots of opportunities to watch some great games. You can take a look at the full schedule on our website on WRALSportsFan.com. And while you're checking that out, WRAL Sports, Luis Fernandez is here with me, and he's got some insights on what all of this means for the new season. So, Luis, first impressions after seeing the schedule.
Well, you kind of mentioned there a little bit, Grace. You didn't see the Panthers on Sunday Night Football. In fact, the Panthers do not have any prime time games this season, which is kind of expected when they go 2-15 and finish with the worst record in football. Which, you know, not to throw any shade there, but it's just the facts.
Right.
They will have one stand-alone game. That is the game in Munich, Germany, against the New York Giants. That is on November 10th at 9:30 a.m. That's Week 10. So that's obviously a big deal for the Panthers and something to watch for there. When I look at the rest of their schedule, a few things I'm noticing is you see their schedule here posted by the Panthers Twitter account. They start things off with a road game at New Orleans, so getting a little bit of a NFC South division game going there. When you look at that first half of the schedule before their bye, one thing that people talk about a lot with the Panthers is the decision to trade away picks to go get Bryce Young when, you possibly could have gotten Caleb Williams at the beginning of this draft. So they will face the Bears and Caleb Williams at Chicago, 2 #1 picks going at it. That's going to be Week 5, October 6th at 1 p.m. And when you look at that schedule, too, there are some really interesting matchups, especially in the latter half of the year. They face a lot of playoff teams or teams that made the playoffs. You finish 2 games there at Tampa Bay, another divisional game, December 29th, and then at the Falcons. The Falcons game, it's the final game of the season for the Panthers, and right now it's scheduled, it says TBD. We do not know. A lot of times the NFL will kind of keep all those games at the very end of the season to be determined, and if it ends up being an important game for the playoffs, they may bump it up to the prime time. But one of the big takeaways for sure, Grace, no prime time games for the Carolina Panthers next year, at least for now.
Yeah, but it sounds like some exciting matchups, certainly as we get later into the season, so that's exciting. Another big thing that people get excited about when we're talking about the schedule release is these social media videos that the teams put out. So what have we been seeing on that front?
So the Panthers, if we want to stick with them, they actually did a funny one where they had they did like trying to describe TikTok trends outside
yeah,
of
I'm
TikTok.
trying to get
Always
it pulled
makes
up
you
here.
seem old.
Here we go.
But they did a video
here.
where they had some of their players paint pictures of each other, paint paintings of each other. And they kind of turned out exactly how you thought. Here, as you see on your screen, Xavier Leggett. I would recommend stick with your day job. Stick with your day job. So they had their players paint each other, and then they put it up on graphics just like this. So, those kind of things are always fun. I saw the LA Chargers. They did kind of like a Sims video, if you will, which was pretty good as well. So a lot to look at there with the NFL. Their reactions are always fun. I'm actually I have affinity for what the Chargers do for the most part on these.
Here's one from the Steelers.
The Steelers, okay.
I don't know, it
so
looks like some sort of sit down.
Some of this we're reacting to.
Oh, dad jokes.
Oh,
okay, so we've got a lot of different things here.
I love this. So you see Russell Wilson, former NC State Wolfpack. Great. He's going to be at least in competition, if not getting the starting quarterback job for the Pittsburgh Steelers this season. A lot of local ties for these. These videos are always so great. They're always so fun. The social teams for each of these teams really get to flex their creative muscles, if you will. So, yeah. But it's always a good time.
Definitely. And one thing I also wanted to ask about, we look at how this announcement was made today. We look at some of the games last season, going into next season. A lot of them not on regular TV, but kind of in the space a lot of you guys are watching us right now on streaming.
Yes.
So what do you think that says about where we're headed with viewing sports games?
So it's really interesting. You know, for a long time, you know, you could do NFL Sunday Ticket or whatever it might be. You get to purchase and watch all the games from that perspective. Now we're starting to see a lot of different folks get in on that NFL streaming action. The NFL makes so much money. It's this huge organization. So many people watch.
Right.
We were announced today, 2 Christmas Day games for the NFL will both be on Netflix, which
Wow.
is, that's a first. You know, Netflix starting to get into the live.
I would have never thought 10 years
Right.
ago to watch a football game on Netflix.
Right, exactly. That one's wild. That kind of, to me, kind of ushers in this whole new era. But we saw Thursday Night Football now on Amazon Prime. We've seen Peacock, you know, shout out to NBC, getting into the mix as well, hosting some of their games exclusively on Peacock.
Right.
So, you know, even the Panthers game that's going to be in Munich, I would need to check this, but one thing to keep in mind for these games is a lot of those international games air on either ESPN Plus or NFL Plus, which is even the NFL's own streaming channel. So the way we consume sports is changing, is shifting, and the NFL is, like it is for most things, probably going to be on the forefront of that.
Right. But either way, I'm sure a lot of people will be watching. Thanks for being here this evening with me, Lewis, and breaking all of this down. Great insight, as always. I want to take you out to a live look over downtown Clinton. Looking a little wet there on the roads, of course. We've seen a lot of rain this evening. It is starting to move out with that WRAL weather alert day ending in the last hour or so. And that rain, as it leaves, is going to bring in cooler temperatures tomorrow. Meteorologist Amy Wilmoth has a look at today's forecast, followed by more top stories we're following on WRAL News Plus.